On today's episode of Your Palm Beach Guide, our special guest is Gil Walsh, founder and principal of Gil Walsh Interiors. A visionary in design, Gil is known for creating the timeless spaces defined by architectural sensitivity, refined materials, and exceptional craftsmanship. Her work balances beauty and function, emphasizing lasting quality over fleeting trends. In this episode, we explore her journey, her design philosophy, and how she brings creativity and discipline together to shape extraordinary spaces. Well, good morning, Gil. How are you today?
It's nice to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you back because you were on our podcast a couple months ago, or maybe it was over a year ago now, but we had you on early to go over the history of how you got to Palm Beach. And so I said I would plug that. So if you're not sure about who Gil Walsh is or want to hear more about our previous episode, you just have to look at our previous episode online. And then today, though, we're going to talk about where you are now in Palm Beach. And we're going to talk a little bit about history, philosophy, trends, all the good things. So I'm excited to jump in.
Okay.
Yes. So for those who don't know, just give a quick summary of who you are, your business, and how long you've been in Palm Beach.
Well, I'm Gil Walsh. I've been in Palm Beach practicing in my own business since 2008. And we have grown from one person being me to now 13 people.
13 people. Oh, my
and
goodness.
Our office is located in West Palm Beach, and we're the gateway to the design center.
Absolutely.
That's happening all along Dixie Highway and Georgia Avenue.
Is that what they're calling it now? I like that.
It's
if they
a
should name
design
it.
district.
Yeah.
It's the antique district.
That's good.
Georgia Avenue has many retail stores. We are not retail. We are strictly design.
Design.
But we were the first to open in that neighborhood. And you know that whole area south of Antique Row was all sort of very experimental.
Yeah.
Sort of a dicey neighborhood.
A little dicey.
But, that's all changing.
It is. It is. So your work feels very timeless with everything you do. It has that elegance to it. And it's not focused on the trends. And that's what we talked about. So can you share just a little bit about your core design philosophy and where does that come from?
Well, our philosophy is based on what our clients' needs are. And we react and produce what our clients are looking for. My training has always been in very pure classical design, which means you can go traditional and you can go contemporary.
Okay.
One of the challenges I had early on was when I was approached by the Kaufman family that owned Falling Water. The very famous Frank Lloyd Wright home was to, work on the interiors of that home, which I did with Edgar Kaufman. And that was a challenge because Frank Lloyd Wright was neither classical. He was, pure prairie design.
Right.
But it was terrific. I learned a lot, and I can do that type of work very easily now.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, and your experience is shaping now what you're doing in the future, which I love that. So that's so good.
Yeah.
When you talk about what your clients want and the different types of clients that you have, when you are advising your clients, do they come to you with just this general idea, or do some clients come and they know exactly what they're looking for?
Yeah, and that's pretty interesting. Today, a lot of our clients are really educated in the design world. They have a lot of material and social media available to them. So they come many times with pictures and drawings of what they like. But then there is always the client that really doesn't know, and particularly the client that moves to South Florida. They're trying to figure out what is Florida design and what will work in Florida as opposed to what works in the Northeast.
Right.
So there's a lot of that discussion of color, airiness, the type of fabrics that, one wants to really use in South Florida.
Right. And I think that people definitely probably ask about the environment, like in the summertime. And like you said, I feel like we're so lucky because we've been here forever, but there are just certain things that you don't put in your house here.
No, there probably are.
Right.
But the houses are pretty well conditioned.
Right.
When I moved here a long time ago as a vacation person, I designed my home as a vacation person.
Oh, you did?
Very light and airy and wicker rattan, bleached out woods. That was a long time ago.
It's coming back, though. I see it coming back a little bit. Yeah.
But when I moved here permanently, I just brought the furnishings that had good, clean design from the Northeast, and some of them are painted furniture pieces from the 17th century France. Some are Italian painted, and some are English. But they're very pure classical pieces with beautiful fabrics. And then I chose to hang in my home mostly contemporary art.
Mostly contemporary.
And it really looks great in these, buildings in Florida with these traditional furniture pieces. But that's how I live. My clients live many different ways, and we accommodate their needs.
Right. Especially, too, because I know we talked earlier, like if you have a client who's got little ones, that advice and that direction for design is going to be very different than someone who's seasoned.
Absolutely. And
Right.
dogs.
And dogs.
But actually, those performance fabrics are becoming so beautiful
Really?
that you can use them really in any setting. It used to be that they were umbrella fabrics, canvas, and now they're beautiful. They're just beautiful. So I use them many times in very elegant settings. And
Right.
we don't really label them performance fabrics, but
Yeah.
if someone spills red wine on them, how lucky that family is.
Right.
They can just mop it up.
No, that's so good. So when you approach a new project, what is the very first element that you look at or you consider? Is it architecture, lighting in a home? Is it, their lifestyle focus? What do you...
We look at really many different parts
Okay.
and facets. First of all, we always like to come into a project when we know the builder and the architect and the landscape architect. That's really important.
Oh,
when
good.
you
So a
start
team
project.
effort.
Yes, and we
Got it.
we really have the philosophy that we support the team. Because if the team isn't supported by the interior design group, then the client loses. Ultimately, the client will win if we come in with great support for the architect and the builder and the landscape architect, because those structures that they're building are very permanent. And ours can sort of move around a little bit. And then we look at the client needs. What is it that they want?
Right.
How do they want to function in their home? And we discuss the colors and the type of furnishings they want. So once we know all of that, then we say to ourselves, well, where are we starting? If we want to start the theme, are we starting with the floor carpeting? Or are we starting with a beautiful painting they may have? Or some fabric that they decided they really wanted to use in this home? So that's how it all begins. And it's a process.
Right.
We start with inspiration pictures. Many times people cannot express verbally what they want, but they can express it through sharing pictures.
Right.
And if they don't have pictures, we have pictures.
Oh, that's good.
And we start that process.
Okay.
And we're working hand in hand, if there's an architect involved, with the architect. Where is he placing the windows? Where are the door swings? So that we know we have room to hang window treatments if need be. The door swings, it doesn't swing into a piece of furniture.
Right.
And then we're looking at what the landscape architect is doing. What is your view outside your window? And we certainly don't want to put a lamp in the middle of a window when you have a beautiful view. But if you don't have such a beautiful view, then sure, we can place an art object, a sculpture, or a lamp right there. So all of this is pretty critical to us. We look at the big picture.
You look at the big picture and you're working with the team, it sounds like, for the entirety of the project.
For the protection of the client.
Right.
It's just, when you're bringing a building out of the ground, that is just so important. Now, if we're not bringing a building out of the ground, but we're remodeling,
Right.
that equally needs, for most cases, an architect and a landscape architect and a builder. So there's always that team.
No, that's so good. And then when you talk about building the space and making it cohesive in that space, how do you make it look so it's not staged, but that it's a home to live?
Well, that's by bringing in the personality of the client.
Got it.
I mean, we all need a sofa to sit on.
Right.
But how do we accessorize that sofa? And then we have tables, and, are there going to be art objects or family photos or mementos? That's what softens the space and speaks to the client.
So tell me a little bit about what is a detail in this process that most people overlook. That is a major that at the end of the project they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that.
Well, I think details are really critical. So
Right.
when you look at sofas and upholstery, let's look at the tailoring.
Right.
How are we handling the seams? How are we handling the skirts? How are we handling the trim application, if there is trim application? All of that defines and outlines the piece of furniture. Then we pair it with tables. What are the materials of the tables, and what color are they, and what woods are we using? All of that adds to the layering. Layering is really critical.
Yeah.
And then you go on up, and you should be layering with a collection of art or decorative pieces on your walls.
So when it comes to layering those
And scale.
pieces,
Scale
okay.
is really important.
So and explain that, for us.
Well, you need to make sure, first of all, that the body can sit in the sofa or chair.
Right.
That's one scale. Then you have to make sure that the scale of the piece fits within the size of the room. Many times in older homes, the rooms are smaller and the ceilings are lower, or in some of the older condominiums as well. So if you go to a big furniture store, they mostly sell gigantic pieces of furniture that A, you can't really sit in, and B, they're too big for the room. So you have to really be careful about scale. And that could blow the whole look of the room if you don't
It'll
scale
just
it.
look ginormous in
Yeah,
there.
it can.
Yeah.
But big scale furniture can look great in big spaces.
Right.
And then you load it with pillows so that the person can sit on the sofa properly,
Right.
or chair.
Or chair. Okay. No, that's good. So how do you balance then with your clients, just the balance of beauty with livability? Is it all going back to that scale conversation and kind of adjusting with the client what makes the most sense for their family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Function.
Junction. It's like that grammar song. Oh my gosh, throwing it back to my elementary school days.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. So now let's talk. Let's focus on Palm Beach and the specific just culture that is Palm Beach. We're very heavily. We have a very strong identity in Palm Beach and who we are as a community. So how do you honor the architectural legacy of that in your projects?
Well, you must.
Right. I know you do, so I just love it.
You must,
yeah.
but you can have a beautiful Meisner home, but in the inside, you can outfit it with classic, traditional, or contemporary furniture, or do a mix. And the governing board is very strict about the exterior of your home, so that it stays.
So talk about that a little bit, because I think people who move here don't understand that there are certain restrictions that are a lot, that you have to go through all of these steps to get a house approved, or to, even to get the paint approved almost.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Well, I can't really speak to it. I think you should have somebody in that position speak to it. I can speak to it as a designer, that you have to be mindful of the community, and your home needs to complement and fit within the community that's been laid out years and years ago.
Right.
And believe it or not, families know this, because in their own communities in the north, there are many zone restrictions.
Right.
I happen to live in North County, and it's the same. And it drives me crazy when I'm driving, in South County or North County and not in Palm Beach, and I'm trying to find something that's tucked deep into the shopping center because there are setbacks and you can't see them. So it's to protect the community so that there's beautiful landscaping available, and you don't look like an industrial type city.
Exactly. So are you seeing a shift in how clients in Palm Beach are thinking about their homes, or has it just been, especially now?
I think, in design, there's always movements.
Right.
And there was a very strong movement, in the contemporary transitional design. Strip down the classic traditional furniture and make it very clean and simple. So you see a lot of that, and that's a trend.
Right.
And we're going to see that switch back but you're going to see it switch back to more traditional furnishings, but with contemporary accents.
Exactly.
And it's going to be classic.
Right.
It's going to be the noted designers who design furniture, or it's going to be the noted dead artist who did beautiful furniture back in the 1700s and 1800s and 1900s. I mean, it's all coming back.
It is.
But in a very clean way just like we love art,
Mm-hmm.
furniture is art.
Right.
And, it's sculptural in the room. And I feel that the generations really respect the sculpture of the furniture pieces,
Yeah.
but it has to be functional.
I think too, when we talk about luxury and Palm Beach luxury, and everybody has their own definition of what that looks like. But when you first started your business here in Palm Beach all those years ago, have you seen that definition of luxury change with the clients that you've seen throughout the years?
Yeah, and I believe I have seen it change. And why has it changed? Is it
Right.
that people are more educated to interior design? When I was younger and in the Northeast and people wanted to design their homes, the only reference they had was Williamsburg, Virginia.
Oh my goodness.
That was it, because all of these beautiful houses that the Rockefellers saved or rebuilt in Williamsburg and furnished was an example to these families of this is beautiful traditional furniture.
Right.
And that was the way it was. There was no social media. There
Yeah, that
were
was
really
the
very
example.
few books.
Right.
And so, fast forward, there is a tremendous amount available to the people.
I think too, just as a consumer, I get so overwhelmed. I get so overwhelmed thinking of having to try to design a house or something like that. Like there are little things, and I also like different things.
I know.
I'm so like that'll look really cute, or I like how that specific table looks. And then it gets into my house, and I'm like, this doesn't even go with all of the whole thing.
Right.
Like,
And that's why,
it's so hard.
retaining a professional designer
Yeah.
for the interior is just so important.
exactly.
I mean, you can retain them just as a consultant
Mm-hmm.
to help you lay the furniture out in the room and share pictures with you of design, and then you can start a master plan that you want to do a little bit this year based on your budget. And
Yeah, you
that's
can
how-
plan it out.
That's how you do it.
Right.
And when we get to be older and we've amassed a lot of our savings and we
Mm-hmm.
can just go in and do it all, that's
Right.
great. But as we were growing in our chapters with raising children and sending them off to college, you parcel out, the allowance every year of what you can afford to do.
I love that you say that, because I think a lot of us have this misconception that we have to have it all right now.
Yeah.
And especially if you're, if you're a young couple or a young family who just bought a house, like you just bought the house, your whole money just went into that house.
That's exactly right. It takes time.
Right.
And so, you may buy inexpensive pieces just so that you can sit, but eventually that changes.
Right. So, as the founder of a highly respected design firm as yourself, how have you grown creatively, just in your own personal journey?
Well, every year, you learn something new. I think it's very important for anybody, just like a writer. A writer changes their subject matters, and sometimes there are different styles of writing. Just like an artist, look at Picasso. He had all these different periods. And so interior designers do as well, but there's probably a classic thread that goes through, my personal style for me only. I design to the clients. That clients have their style.
Right.
I don't push my style on theirs.
Yeah.
But for me, I have learned that I love classical furniture mixed with modern. Because then if I'm in a modern building and I place this beautiful classical furniture in it, they're opposites. So everything stands out, and it's sculptural.
Right.
And that's what I like, and it's what I've learned all the years.
No, that's
How
so
do you
good.
do that? I've learned how to do that. And my eye of collecting has become more seasoned, and I
Yeah.
know what I'm looking for in lines. And then you have to tell yourself, are you doing okay with this skill? Is this something you can live with? Or am I making a mistake? And you just have to believe in yourself and
Yeah.
believe in what you like. Because art is beautiful, and furnishings are art. Our home is our sanctuary, but it is our art. And we have to believe that this is what makes us comfortable, and it's okay.
No, that's so good. And you don't have to try to convince anybody else.
No, and that's the beauty. All of these wonderful designers that work in my firm, they all have great ideas, and I've learned from them.
Yeah.
So it's really fun, and I've learned from my clients because they'll pick out something that I never would have thought about. But you put it in the room, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
So you have to keep yourself open to all new kinds of ideas.
So I want to talk about you for a little bit, just personally, as you've led your company now this whole time, like you've been around and you're hiring these designers and you're working with your team. Your team has stayed with you for a long time.
I know.
Like that is a huge testament to just your leadership. And how have you been able to lead differently to keep your team there?
I think they're all great people, and they all are very interested to continue to grow. So there's a lot of teaching that goes on because I've been in the field a long time. I've been exposed to lots and lots that some of these young people have not been exposed to, but I've opened the doors. And they have enjoyed it, and they tell me every year how much they enjoy it, and I believe in them, and I give them the support. I'll make presentations, and I'll push them to the front because that is my job. Put them in the front, and they gain confidence. This is the same in any professional field. Doctors, lawyers, accounting people, it's the same. You've got to push the younger generation ahead of you. And your job is to be there as their mentor. And I'm there as the mentor for the client. So the client always knows I am there for them.
Yeah.
And if things get a little rocky and they get nervous, I'm the one that gets the call.
Yeah, that's true. You're the safety.
Yeah.
You're the safety. Well, as we wrap up, I just want to jump to our rapid fire questions. And these are my favorite, and I always end because it's just a fun little thing that we do. So I'll start. Coffee or tea in the morning? What's your go-to?
Oh, coffee.
Black, cream
Black.
sugar? Just black. Oh, nice. Okay. Your favorite hidden gem in Palm Beach?
You know, I can't say. Isn't
Not
that terrible?
one?
Because I love so many places. I mean, I just think Palm Beach is perfect.
Yeah.
I panic when I go to Palm Beach when I have to use the park mobiles.
Oh, yeah. It's
That
really hard.
just, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm calling my staff. Can you please help me get through this?
Yeah, it's really difficult because
But
they're all
it's
different
important.
zones.
It's what they need to do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What is one book that changed your life?
Oh, you know, I have read books and articles. They're just many, many. And it's knowledge and education is so important. Every day I get up early and I read. I mean, I am up at 4:30, 5 o'clock reading. And it's all education. It's learning about something new. So what has changed me, or what has made an impression on me? It is the ability to read and learn, or to listen to podcasts.
Big podcaster.
There's a lot of information out there,
There
and
is.
it really is a turn on to learn something every day.
No, it is. That's so
Yeah.
good. And finally, what is one piece of advice that you would give your younger self as you navigate life in the workplace?
My younger
Your
self,
younger self.
what does that mean?
Like when you were, 25, 30, and you were starting out this business and you were by yourself, like what would you tell your younger self back then?
To constantly learn. And how do you learn? And constantly be exposed. Visit museums, go to plays, read, as I mentioned, podcast, as I mentioned. Learn about art, understand the period of art, understand what it's all about. Just educate yourself.
Educate.
Because education is the key.
Right.
And it helps you make decisions as you enter into somebody's home. And you may be working with a highly successful person who is highly educated. You want to understand what they're asking you, and you want to understand their taste. I am working with a very prominent art collector right now. And the first thing he said to me, Gil, is, do you know about art? And I looked at him and I said, absolutely. I come from an art family.
Yeah.
I know it.
Right.
So you need to be, and you need to believe in yourself. You need to be able to know that when you are speaking with a client, that they are actually listening to you, and you have to trust yourself.
No, that's so good. Well, Gil, thank you for being
You're
on today.
welcome. I enjoyed it.